Today I'm going to be doing a reaction video to this video I found on YouTube. He made millions trading except for one giant problem. Now I've started this video before and the original video will be linked down below in the description if you'd like to go and pay attention to the initial video without my commentary. Feel free to do that. But this is absolutely a crazy story about insider trading, foreign exchange, and stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Let's jump in.
Lucas Kamei started his Forex account with Pepperstone on August 13th, 2013. He placed a small amount of money into the account to get the ball rolling, just $1,000. About a month later, on September 12, Kamei made his first trade. Hill sent him the information through their burner phones. About 30 seconds before the labor statistics were released to the public, Kamei made the trade. The trade yielded a $13,500 profit. Hill was pretty happy about the trade, even though he'd been cautious going into the deal. He recalled,
Quick pause on this already. Can you imagine how much damage you could do if somebody sent you right before a major news event what the central bank numbers were going to be or unemployment numbers were going to be? That's an absolutely crazy thought to think about, and that's basically what these guys were doing. But if you didn't catch that, he just got released information prior to a major news event, and he loaded up in his Pepperstone account some small amount of money and went crazy with the trade. So let's see what else this has in store for us.
giving Kamei more reports and feeling less and less worried about the corrupt activity. There were no negative consequences so far, so why stop? Before their successful trade on the 12th, Kamei opened a second account a day prior. The account had $8,000 on it. A few months later, Kamei worked the account up to $47,000 after making some seriously big bets.
Okay, so basically this guy, that's crazy. He turned an $8,000 account into $47,000 in a brief period of time. But he wasn't doing it legit. He was definitely cheating. And unfortunately, as we're going to find out, this is something that goes on a lot in the world of markets.
The next year, on January 16, Kamei turned the $47,000 into $370,000. That was 4 successful trades in a row on risky bets, meaning their Pepperstone accounts were starting to catch the attention of regulators.
I was going to say, at some point pretty quick, if you were to do this on your trading accounts, if you were to just be back to back to back, having perfect trades and doubling and tripling and quadrupling your accounts, the brokerage definitely can see all the different accounts. And if something like that is happening, they're going to very quickly hone in on you and see what's going on, because brokerage owners, they know that traders don't just randomly start winning every single trade and doubling and quadrupling accounts. So let's see if what happens next year.
Nevertheless, in February, Kamei made a bet at just the right time. Hill's department released high unemployment numbers, causing Australian currency to take a big hit. Kamei traded the currency for a good price and turned his $370K into $1.52 million.
Crazy. And I want to say something too. So he went from 370K all the way up to 1.52 million. That's absolutely insane. One thing I've noticed, and I think this is going to be foreshadowing for what we're about to talk about in this video, is he's doing it on the labor statistics consistently in Australia, trading the Australian dollar. So that's something to pay attention to, and probably something that Pepperstone or the broker that was offering him an account probably took note of pretty quick. He's trading a specific asset, watching specific numbers, and trading at specific times right before those numbers comes out. That's definitely sketchy.
A week later, Kamei doubled his money and made $2.45 million after the ABS released more figures to the public. 6 days later, Kamei earned another $400,000. Then a day later, Kamei made another trade after the ABS released negative construction figures, causing the Aussie currency to take a hit to a 3-week low.
So I take that back. They said construction numbers. So I guess it's not just specifically labor numbers, but it still seems to be regarding Australian economic figures coming out.
Kamei made $536,000 on the deal, bringing his total close to $3 million. On March 13, Kamei made his biggest one-day profit so far. The ABS released a report that showed the economy was improving, causing their currency to shoot up in value. Kamei, from the seat of his toilet, traded $2.5 million that day. His total by this point was $5.99 million. A month later, on April 15, after a few more successful trades, Kamei's account had $7.76 million in it.
And remember, guys, where we started with this. We started out talking about a guy who loaded up a couple $1,000s in a brokerage account, and he's sitting here now in millions upon millions, trading the news and having like a perfect hit rate as well. So definitely some red flags going up in the air. Let's see how the brokerage
Summarize,
handles
in 9 months, Kamei conducted 21 trades and didn't lose money on a single one of them. His profits added up to more than $7 million. Kamei spent his profits on expensive suits, fancy watches, and a BMW Roadster. But none of those items compared to the apartment he bought in the most bombastic way possible on a reality TV show.
Okay, that is crazy. Not only is he having a perfect streak with his trading, not taking any losses, this guy's also like advertising his money that he's made overnight. That's definitely got to be a very not intelligent thing to do if you're insider trading. I feel like that is definitely a major, major red flag. Or at least you're just showcasing to the world all those profits that you just made and probably drawing a lot of attention to yourself. And as we can kind of hear in like the foreshadowing that the video keeps making, it probably does not end that well. Hence why we're hearing his name and story being told on YouTube. So let's keep going.
Christopher Hill and Lucas Kamei met at Monash University, one of the most prestigious higher education establishments in Australia. Apparently, they had a lot more in common than they thought. Both Hill and Kamei grew up in eastern Melbourne, a lush suburban area with good schools, safe neighborhoods, manicured lawns, and beautiful parks. Hill and Kamei shared a pretty similar life. They came from a good neighborhood, went to a good school, and both had realistic dreams of becoming successful at whatever they chose. Hill and Kamei were both brilliant, although Kamei was more ambitious than Hill. For example, while attending Monash University, Kamei won the school medal for economics and commerce. In later interviews, Hill says that Kamei was always obsessed with being successful. Fresh out of college, Kamei earned a position at one of the largest banks in the world, Goldman Sachs.
So we're getting a little bit of the backstory on these two guys, because what we're finding out is it's not just one guy here, but actually two people who are involved with this. And this is often the case when it comes to insider trading stories. It's usually more than one people involved in doing or conducting a scheme. And usually the way it works too is that you have one person who's the information guy and another person who's actually placing the trades. So for example, if I have all the details and I give them to somebody on the outside who can place the trades, when regulators and people raise concern about that person on the outside who's placing trades, they won't put him in a sketchy position. But if I worked at, for example, Goldman Sachs, and I'm placing trades based on information that I have, that would definitely get me caught very quickly for doing insider trading action. So usually it's a duo, right? One person on the inside who gets the information, one person on the outside who actually executes trades.
For someone bent on becoming a corporate finance guy, as Kamei wanted to be, Goldman Sachs was the most prestigious place to go, like a baseball player playing for the Yankees. Hill didn't do too bad for himself either. He got a job at ABS, or the Australian Bureau of Statistics, which isn't as prestigious as Kamei's position at Goldman Sachs, but still not bad for a 22-year-old. Hill always wanted to live in the corporate finance world. The two Monash alumni wouldn't meet again for 2 years at a class reunion at a pub on the Mornington Peninsula. Though the occasion was a happy one, the world was still reeling from the financial crash of 2008. The crash caused several banking institutions to implode, and one bank that really suffered was Goldman Sachs, the same company Kamei worked for. Kamei couldn't have signed on at a more inconvenient time. He attended the reunion as an ex-Goldman Sachs employee.
So it seems like he loses his role, and but the other guy's working at what was it, the Australian Central something. It was some labor of statistics or something like that.
Fired him in 2010. Nevertheless, Kamei rebounded into a position at NAB, another major bank establishment, earning a $200,000 annual salary. It wasn't quite what the ambitious finance job had in mind, but it was better than nothing. Meanwhile, Hill kept his position at ABS. He even received a promotion to a team that was running national labor statistics.
And here it is, you guys. This guy, I believe Hill, at ABS where he was working, is now into the cookie jar. He sees the labor statistics. And I can imagine that this is where these two linked up. One has the information, like we said, the duo, and the other person on the outside is going to place trades or propose to place trades, and perhaps they split profits of some sort or something like that.
Hill mentioned his promotion to Kamei during the drunken festivities, but got an unexpected response. Kamei spun around and revealed to Hill that he could make money from those labor statistics. Hill recalls not giving the comment much thought for the rest of the night. After all, this was Kamei. Hill remembered how ambitious and opportunistic his classmate was in school. Apparently, that hadn't changed. So he left the Mornington Peninsula without dwelling too much on what Kamei had said, blissfully unaware that he'd completely altered the course of his life by sharing his promotion with his old college buddy.
Ah, yes. So it seems like the Kamei figure here, they met at a party, a reunion of some sort, and this is where they're coming together and they're saying, oh, well, Kamei has the bright idea that that sensitive information that you have your hands on, I could make money off of by placing bets or placing trades on the financial markets. So it's interesting. I'm sure that there's a proposition coming here soon.
Kamei first called Hill in August of 2013. He hadn't forgotten about Hill's position at the ABS and called about a potentially lucrative trading strategy he couldn't stop thinking about since the reunion. So far, Kamei's career hasn't gone as planned. Just 3 years prior, he'd been fired from his dream job. Kamei still remembers when his bosses called him to the boardroom and told him to pack his stuff up and leave as soon as possible. In Kamei's eyes, Hill's job at ABS was his ticket back to the top, a way for him to regain the prestige he held for less than a year. Over the next few days, Kamei and Hill discussed the plan. According to records obtained by investigators, they called each other twice more and sent each other 15 text messages.
This is the other thing I was going to say, is that when insider traders or people who cheat the system like this, when they get together and they make a plan, usually what they do is they try to avoid, interactions on places where that are easily tracked. Like the fact that they can pull up this information already gives us information that, oh, well, they already found their text messages and their calls and whatnot. Usually they use like some sort of a burner phone or in-person meetings or something. Super sketch stuff, but this is what insider traders do to put the odds in their favor kind of thing.
Kamei suggested that Hill's labor statistics could indicate fluctuations in the Australian currency.
And there's the Australian currency that we mentioned. So he has stats on it, and there he's going to probably place bets and place trades specifically on Australian dollar crosses.
Put it another way, the stats could help Kamei buy low and sell high in the Forex market. If you're going to properly understand the magnitude of this story, you need to know what Forex is.
Okay, so we already know what Forex is here on this channel. We could probably skip a little bit of this.
He was really enjoying the life he was living. It was the life he dreamed of after graduating from Monash. Little did he know that his $7 million in recklessly obtained Forex profits were catching the attention of someone very important, a high-level manager at Pepperstone who wanted to find out how Kamei was an undefeated trader. Plot twist.
Again, I go back to this concept too. How silly. I mean, obviously I'm saying this in hindsight, but if you were to be an insider trader, which I definitely think absolutely do not do, that's even if you have that information, it's probably not worth going to jail for, number one. Number two, though, if you were to do it, why would you give yourself a perfect winning track record and turn $8,000 or whatever it was to start with into like $7+ million? I feel like that's incredibly obvious to brokerage owners and like this guy who we just got word of, the guy at Pepperstone.
Kamei isn't the only. This was odd because it was a sting operation into an alleged insider trading scheme. What surprised Kylie most were the suspects. They were worth millions and only in their early 20s. Joel Murphy, the head of operations at Pepperstone, noticed Kamei's remarkable trading skills after his third trade. But after his 21st successful trade, Joel knew something was up. He scrutinized Kamei's trades.
Isn't that kind of interesting, guys? Like when you're on your brokerage, if you have 3 incredible trades in a row, one of these guys was already looking at his account and saying, wow, that's remarkable. But then after the 21st trade, they're definitely on to you. I mean, that's clearly not just luck, not just a good strategy. That's something more, because 21 winning trades in a row, that's highly unlikely and very sketchy, especially if you're going all in on each one of these like he probably was doing.
Discovered a distinct attribute. They all coincided with the ABS public release information.
Yep.
Joel
See how quick, I mean, once they start narrowing it in, it's like, oh wait, he's only trading during major news events that regard the Australian Central Bank or Australian numbers, right, that are sensitive information.
Dug through Kamei's Facebook friends until he came across Chris Hill's profile. Pepperstone manager Googled Hill's name.
Like I said, they're doing real detective work. So they find his profile, they find his friend who's given him the information, who has a job at the ABS.
Found an article from the ABS. Suddenly, the dots connected. Joel called the ABS and asked for Hill. The receptionist forwarded the call to Hill's phone, and he answered. Joel asked Hill if he worked for the market-sensitive news release team. Hill said he did. Then, Joel hung up. His suspicions confirmed. Kamei was using Hill as an informant inside trade on the Forex. From there, forensic...
On the Forex. On the foreign exchange. I like that. Who could blame him? This video is incredibly well done. This is an awesome, awesome video.
Accountant Kylie took a covert job dubbed Operation Leith. The goal was to catch Hill and Kamei in the act by recording them talking about the scheme. Investigators bugged Kamei's phone, but not his burner phone, and installed surveillance cameras in his house, his car, and office. However, they found no incriminating evidence that Kamei was gathering trading information from Hill. Kylie says that she and her team were getting frustrated. To Kylie's team, Hill and Kamei were just suburban trust fund kids playing Wolf of Wall Street. They weren't real criminals. Nevertheless, the duo evaded Kylie and her team until Kamei forgot to bring his burner phone on a flight to Melbourne. He had to call Hill on his regular phone, the one that investigators bugged. Kylie and company heard his entire conversation with Hill. Then they heard Kamei say he was giving Hill $6,500 in cash. Hill asked Kamei if it was okay to spend the money. Kamei said that it was fine. Cops kicked in the door on Hill's place.
And that's the end of that. They definitely got caught. So one of them lost the phone. They got comfortable, and sure enough, they get caught red-handed, and the cops come running. So there you go, guys. A little bit of insider trading for you. Always a fun story to hear when you hear about insider trading, but just a word to the wise, trying to cheat your way to the top is usually going to end, or in many cases going to end in you getting a lot of trouble. And in this case, definitely jail time and serious fines that come with it. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and you can watch, remember, the original video down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Looks like it's time for your next trading video. Check out the videos here and here for more free trading content that should help you in your trading journey. We try and keep it real here, so make sure to subscribe for more content that is down to earth, realistic Forex trading content. See you in the next video.